As this series begins, we lament that Portland isn't at full strength after the brutal injury to Jusuf Nurkic. But his replacement and his Kanter saved the day in this battle between two incredibly well-matched teams. But they're going to need his big offensive numbers to overcome the issues he has on the defensive end. And when you have Damian Lillard's clutchness on your side, odds are you're going to win. The Thunder had their own injury issue, as Paul George's shoulder kept him out of the last game of the season and unsure if he would even play today. And in the first half, it was clear something was up, as these plays were not customary for a guy who had been in the MVP discussion for a lot of the season. OKC found a recipe for success early by attacking Enes Kanter in the post with Steven Adams, and then they put Kanter in the pick and roll. For some reason, he would drop way too low, unable to keep the ball from getting within 4 feet of the rim each time, and not offering any type of contest to the shot when it did go up. But the Trailblazers were willing to trade all those 2-point buckets for 3-point bombs of their own. They went 7 for 10 from behind the arc in the first quarter and built a 14-point lead. Aminu sets a screen to get Adams to step behind when his man ball screens. Dame turns the corner, forcing a switch. Now watch Ferguson. He's supposed to split the difference between McCollum and Aminu, but gets lost as CJ slides in behind him for a wide open 3-ball. A double ball screen brings OKC's bigs out to the 3-point line, and while Dame looks like he generates an open corner 3, tremendous pursuit by the defense bottles it up until Grant closes out poorly, allowing easy middle penetration. Paul George gets caught way out of position underneath Kanter and can't get to the corner in time, as Dame gets the easiest 3-point attempt he'll see in the whole series. In the middle of the big run by Portland, good shots by the Thunder were vital, and yet Russ comes down without a pass into the offense and shoots an off-the-dribble 3. Just to make my point clear, Russ just endured one of the worst all-time shooting seasons by a starting guard ever. Only 4 other backcourt starters have ever posted numbers below this. So Russ needs to stop shooting threes unless the Thunder are up by 10 and they're of the catch-and-shoot variety. This shot caught the Thunder out of position to match up properly, and PG thinks Adams is going to switch. Adams doesn't want any part of it, and Lillard says thanks as he drains a deep shot going to his left. On this split of the pick and roll by Lillard, great hands by the defense to knock the ball free. It just happens to roll right to Kanter. But this is a mistake by the defense. The help should be coming from the weak side, where Schroeder is, not the strong side from Russ. An easy pass gets an open look for Hood in the corner, and he hops into a rhythm 3 and a 17-point lead early. These two teams are too evenly matched to see a blowout, and the Thunder come back in the second behind a big quarter from Russ, as he grabs the rebound, and Evan Turner is way too late realizing he's got to pick him up, as Russ begins his takeoff at the free throw line and finishes with a nice inside hand layup. We see another mistake in the help of the pick and roll, as Seth Curry got stuck staring at the ball even though his man is 1 pass away in the corner. The easy pass from Russ finds Ferguson hopping into the shot, and OKC is on its way back. And more attacking of Kanter down low, a really big mistake to gamble on a steal, giving Adams the easy dunk. Another coast-to-coast by Russ, and Harkless shouldn't be reaching in for the ball. He never quite recovers as Russ gallops to the basket and blows by him for the easy layup. The game was a stalemate through the third and part of the fourth, as neither team could wrestle control of the game, bringing us to the stretch run that found the Thunder down 8 with under 7 minutes left. They try to recapture the first quarter magic down low with Adams attacking Kanter. This time, Kanter does okay and does get a hand up barely to contest the miss. But the Thunder get the board, kick it to Russ, and I know he's lick his thumb and check the wind wide open, but remember, they're down 8 in the fourth quarter with 11 seconds on the shot clock. And I already told you about Russ's shooting this year. Needless to say, this shot does not go in. A minute later, they get organized and do what has worked best, attack Kanter in the pick and roll. Sure enough, he gets caught reaching, Paul George does some teaching, and the lead is cut to 6. It's Russ's turn, and I'm actually laughing at how low Kanter sinks. I mean, he's just asking for the offense to shoot a layup, and Russ happily abides. The Blazers tried to adjust by helping Kanter more, but at the risk of an open kick out to the corner. Credit CJ McCollum for hustling out there to discourage the shot, but Schroeder drives, draws two defenders, and finds a good look in the corner. When it doesn't fall, Adams clears it back out top, right into the open arms of Paul George, who drains the three as part of a fantastic second-half performance for him, giving Thunder fans hope that he'll be back in the swing of things to start Game 2. But this is Lillard time, folks, and we've seen time and again his knack for the clutchest of shots. CJ slips the ball screen and clears off a flare screen to the weak side. This action distracted Russ for a second, and while you could say it's bad defense, this is a crazy long shot, easily 6 feet behind the line, but he drains it for a crucial 4-point cushion. The Thunder come right back down and attack Kanter again, and wouldn't you know it, he makes a low-key great defensive play, touching the ball on the way up and throwing off the rhythm on what should have been an automatic 2 points from Adams. The foul on Aminu was another mistake, giving the Blazers 2 more free throws to a guy who averages 87% from there. There is a boatload of time left. No need to force up quick threes just yet, but they run a pick and roll into a handoff to PG, who's going full speed away from the basket. The shot breaks, and now the Trailblazers want to run absolutely as much time as possible off the clock before shooting it. You can be sure it'll be a straight pick and roll, and when Kanter comes up to set it, both Russ and Adams quickly get stuck chasing the ball. Grant has to dive down in the deep penetration, Harkless is open in the corner, but if you just watch Kanter on his roll, you'll see Adams ended up out of bounds and Ennis was right there for the rebound. Now Portland can really put a nail in the coffin with Dame attacking a mismatch. But wait, Jeremy Grant forces a turnover, pushes ahead to Russ, and they put him on the line where he promptly makes 2 free throws. Desperately clinging to a 4-point lead, praying the clock ticks faster, Portland runs pick and roll, sucks Kanter and Westbrook out above the hash mark, and on the reversal, CJ finds a little path towards a pull-up 14-footer. Contested well by Adams, but because OKC's big man had to step up for the shot, Kanter is the lone big boy underneath, and he just about ices the game with this offensive rebound. Dame now has a major mismatch on his hands and gets right by him, collapsing the defense, finds the wide open corner 3, but when it doesn't go down, OKC has a chance if they hurry. But Russ hurries too much, foolishly tossing the ball into a crowd. It gets stolen almost immediately, and Portland ends up with it after this wild sequence. There's an 11-second difference, so in theory, no need to foul, but CJ gets his driving lefty runner blocked out of bounds by an incredible display of athleticism by Jeremy Grant. This sets up the play that decided the game. Kanter has to be the release valve. Great denial defense by Russ forces some improv. The shot clock is almost up, so Kanter had to go it alone, taking one dribble that landed outside of the 3-point arc, but lumbering all the way within 12 feet before taking off, flipping it up hard off the glass, and seeing it drop through the hoop. I know, you're thinking travel, but by the letter of the law, you can see him dribble, gather, then 2 very long steps into the jump. Legal. And that effectively ended the game. OKC might have scared them for a second, but Portland made their free throws, and they came out with a crucial Game 1 win. Without big scoring from Kanter, I don't see how he balances out all his defensive issues. With better play from Paul George earlier, perhaps OKC won't be down so much so early. That said, there's room for Dame and CJ to shoot better. So this might all come down to Russell Westbrook and whether he can lead an underdog team to play above their heads without home court advantage. A tall order for sure, but one that could reward us all with 7 tough, grueling, and epic games. Get my free video on more X's and O's by clicking on the link below, and like and subscribe and comment on this video. Lots more coming up.